Yo,
Yo,
what's good, critiquer? Click. What's up, Blinks? Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a great weekend. And I hope you're ready for the holidays. This has been coming for a while. This is our review of Light Up the Sky. This is for everybody that couldn't see our reaction on Patreon. If you guys do want to see our reaction, it'll be down in the description. I have our Patreon link there. So we rewatched the entire documentary and I wrote down a bunch of notes. So everything here is in chronological order. So everything we talk about is going to basically happen as the documentary goes on. So in the beginning, Jennie and the girls, they talk about how they have songs that they just need to record. Like they're already written for them. They just have to record them. Or they already have songs that are just sitting there that they just haven't put out yet. And I'm wondering what that is. We know that one of them is that Ready for Love song. That I'm ready for love. You heard, it's actually in the trailer with Lisa singing that. So we don't know if that song's ever gonna get released, if they're just showing like little sneak peeks of it in here. I'm still wondering if there's gonna be a deluxe album. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get any more extra songs or what. If this is just gonna be pushed to the next album, or if we're never even gonna hear this Ready for Love track. Rosie says we've done a lot as trainees. It's just what we get to show as Blackpink. So I think Rosie's saying that they can do different genres. They've prepared for different genres. They probably even have songs done that sound different than their normal Blackpink track. They just haven't been able to release them. You know, it's all up to the label what they want to portray for Blackpink. And Jennie says she wants to do something girly. So I'm wondering if Lovesick Girls is a song that was pushed because it's like a girly track that Jennie wanted to do. It sounds to me like it's really girly. I'm not really sure what Jennie means by I want a girly sounding track that's like, hello. I don't know what that means really. But you know, I know they have some cute bubblegum tracks. I just don't understand why she doesn't think they're girly enough. But I would like to see what Jennie has in mind for like a girly track. I do think Lovesick Girls is pretty girly. So I'm wondering if because Jennie wanted girly sounding songs, that Lovesick Girls was pushed to be the second single that they dropped.
sorry, I just noticed there's a little owl right there.
They got an owl in the studio. Of course. You know one of the girls brought that to Teddy. We also get to hear them record Crazy Over You a little bit. And it sounds very different in the documentary than what the finished project sounds like. So, I don't know. That's cool that we get to see the creative process, how it evolved a little bit, that track. Because to me, Crazy Over You is still one of my favorite tracks off the album. Initially, it was my favorite. I'm not sure if it still is, but it's still one of the best to me. And then Teddy tells us what he thinks about each member. And Teddy says, Rosie works hard. She's in the studio all night. That Jisu is very smart and she never cries, which we know that. We see Jisu reading the books and the videos. And we know Jisu is never crying. She's always keeping it together. She's like the group's rock, you know what I mean? Which, if you think about when all the girls were crying at the end of Blackpink Diaries for the tour, and Jisu wasn't crying. He says, Lisa's always being positive, and under pressure, she's like a tiger. So she loves the pressure. I think she loves just dancing so much that when she's on stage, that's why she like comes out like a tiger. Like she just goes hard under this pressure because she loves to show off her dancing. And it's been said multiple times throughout this documentary that Lisa's this positive light and keeps them all going whenever they feel like they need to be recharged or they're just work too hard. Lisa's always the one that's like, let's keep going, guys. We got this. And that's something great to have in a team. You know, that's a great quality that Lisa brings to the table. And Teddy said that Jennie is a perfectionist and she sings very clear. You You can hear everything that she says. She is a master of her pronunciation. So I agree. Like, you can tell that Jennie really does work very hard to make sure she sounds so perfect. Like, I'm thinking about her delivery on Crazy Over You when she's like, might bite. She pronunciates might bite so hard. It's like Jennie does pay really close attention to the little details and everything. I also love that my dude Teddy had to talk about how K-pop isn't one thing. Like, K-pop is not one genre. It's just Korean music, and they put it into one word and they call it K-pop. And it makes no sense. I love that he said that, because a lot of people need to realize that the K-pop isn't one sound. It's a combination of many different genres. A lot of times, and sometimes, it's just flat out one genre, but they always call it K-pop. So the documentary continues, and now we start to learn the backstory of each member. We start out with Jennie. Jennie wasn't around her mom from age 10 to 15. She was staying at a homestay. She originally was very, very shy, and she still is kind of shy, which I can relate. I can relate, Jennie. Like, I might seem like a crazy extrovert on camera or something like that. This is me literally practicing my social skills, because I am a super introvert. When she decided to become a singer, she was back in New Zealand. She just got back from her study in America, and this is when she decided, I don't want to go back to America to study. I want to be a singer. So she auditioned and she got in right away. Then they show us a clip of her in 2010 dancing and stuff. They also show this really lit performance of her performing The Hills by The Weeknd. And we got a lot of exclusive content that is only for this documentary, I think, of their trainee days. I'm really hoping all this trainee stuff does end up on YouTube at some point, because I would love to react to it. She says all the first people that trained with her ended up leaving, so all her initial friends that she had, they all had to get cut because they just didn't make it. And then when Lisa shows up, this is when Jennie says, wow, there are people born to do this.
I guess when she saw Lisa, she was like, she's gonna stay. Like, she's not going anywhere,
Right.
Like she's got it.
Yeah, she probably she probably came in.
But she also has a great attitude. It's not just her talent. It's like everything about Lisa. Like, she's got a great attitude and outlook, like a very optimistic outlook on life and everything. And she always tries to keep like every moment happy, it seems like. Like, she constantly tries to stay happy, keep everyone around her happy.
So we move on to Lisa, and I don't know why Lisa wants to get the Travis Scott Reese's Puffs. I couldn't tell you why.
What's so cool about it. It's just Reese's Puffs, but with Travis Scott on the cover.
I can't. Why Travis Scott can put his name on something and it sells more like that? I don't get it. I love Travis, but I don't know. I still don't get it. Getting into Lisa's backstory, Lisa's aunt had a music group, and as a toddler, Lisa would lower the mic stand and sing and dance. In kindergarten, Lisa's mom signed her up for a dance class, and then she started doing dance competitions as she got older. At age 12, she was at a competition and was approached by a talent scout and told her to try singing. Then she auditions for YG at age 14. She didn't know Korean as a trainee at all, and Jennie was the only other English speaker, so she became friends with Jennie first. All the girls react to Lisa dancing when she was a kid, and Lisa's cringing. And it's so funny because she does look so much different than when she was younger.
She transformed.
Jennie and Lisa do this amazing 23 cover. I'm just like, can you guys please put this on YouTube? We need the full thing. We need this. Like, just the bit that they gave us was fire. It's fire, dude. So now we move on to Jisu, and we get to meet Jisu's friend, and she's a makeup artist who Jisu also told to open up her own salon one day. And she actually did. So Jisu's like, yeah,
Jisu's psychic.
I told you to do that. And it's funny. So then we get to learn Jisu's backstory. And Jisu says that she was mistreated as a kid because they would call her ugly. They used to call her a monkey. Which, I want to know what your family looks like, Jisu, if you're ugly. It's funny because her friend says, you're the prettiest one now. As Jisu grows up, she aspires to be a painter or a writer, but she couldn't decide, and then she ends up deciding that she wants to be an actress. So she joins drama club in 11th grade, wanting to become an actress. Was told to audition at places for experience in acting, but her first audition was at YG, which she didn't know anything about. She knew nothing about YG. And she never thought she'd be a singer, dancer. She never thought that this would turn out for her like this. She originally aspired to be an actress, which, if you guys don't know, she's starring in the TV show Snowdrop. Make sure you guys go check that out because we certainly are, at least sometime. I don't know when, but we will at some point. So now we move on to Rosie. And Rosie says she uses music as a stress relief. It's like a therapy. She misses the trainee days when they could only focus on music. Now with work, she must work on music at night when she's supposed to be sleeping. So we move into Rosie's backstory, and it's like we got adult Rose and a kid body because she sounds and seems exactly the same as she did whenever she recorded this video. She literally vlogs like in the same way and talks like the same way. So it's like she's still a baby. She's still this little girl. I swear. She was born in New Zealand and moved to Australia when she was 8 years old. She sang at church every Sunday, and her dad convinced her to try auditioning for YG when auditions finally came to Australia. She was 16 at the time when she auditioned. She gets a call and they ask her to fly to Korea within 2 months. And when she gets there, she immediately clicks with Lisa because they're both from other countries and are just genuinely alike. They're just similar. That's why they're besties to this day. We get this cute moment with Rosie and Lisa just reminiscing and talking about the past. And Rosie's talking about how Lisa is getting this Australian accent whenever she speaks English, which is pretty funny because I feel like that's still kind of happening today. Like when Lisa speaks English, she kind of does have this Australian accent. It's funny. Jenny says what she thinks makes K-pop is the amount of time that they train. And here we get to see how long each of them were trainees. Jenny was a trainee for 6 years, Jisu for 5, Lisa for 5, and Rosie for 4. We get more clips of them while they're trainees. It said originally the group was supposed to be 9 girls and not 4, and that they worked 14 hours a day and got 1 day off every 2 weeks. That's how hard they trained. It's crazy. 14 hours a day. So imagine waking up, at 6 o'clock, getting to doing something at 7, starting at 7, and not stopping until 9 o'clock at night. That's crazy. That's work. And doing it every day and getting 1 day off every 13 days, every 14 days. That's crazy. We get some more epic trainee dances. Just please release these, YG, please. Rosie says she knew nothing about dancing and Jenny was the first to help her. And Rosie wanted to be as good as Lisa because they all knew that Lisa was the best dancer among them. They say at the end of every month, YG himself would evaluate them. They had to perform a solo song, a group song, and a choreo. So someone would take the role of the vocals and make sure that they all did their vocals right, while Lisa was always in charge of the dancing. So she would choreograph everything every month for 5 years. She choreographed dances every month for 5 years. This is why she said her superpower is picking up on choreos very quickly. Jennie says she had a tough time because, like I said, a lot of her friends were eliminated and sent home. And not only that, but YG doesn't allow you to drink, smoke, or get tattoos. So she couldn't rely on any of those things to relieve her stress. Jisu barely ever went home, which upset her parents, but they told her to stay strong and get it done. She says they're not really the protective, overbearing type, that they're just kind of like, okay, just get it done. So as their training went on, at one point the trainees were put into different groups, and Jisu, Jennie, Rosie, and Lisa were combined at some point as they were shuffled around. And they all clicked and got along and didn't fight like the other groups did. Other groups had more fighting. You get to see Lisa rap Eyes, Nose, Lips, the Tableau version, which would be nice to see. YG release these tapes. Hashtag release the trainee Blackpink tapes. And the girls say that they had this nice synergy and they just knew that they clicked well more than the other groups. And Teddy himself, he says that their characters fit well together and he wants to be someone that he wishes that he had while he was training and growing up as a kid. You know, he just wants to be a really great mentor. As if we need more reasons to appreciate Teddy Park. I mean, you can just tell that his mentoring has evolved Blackpink. And not only that, but his amazing production definitely helps. So Teddy and the girls talk about how they created the whistle track and that they recorded the whistle at least 1,000 times. Like, they kept recording that whistle. And it almost didn't get released because it was criticized as being minimal and had a country vibe to it, like a weird country vibe. And I get that, like the whistle, you know, usually whistles are something that you'd hear in like country. So I get it. So then they go on to talk about their big debut and how they topped the charts and it was like their dream was coming true. They go on to talk about how they have moments when they feel very overwhelmed and really tired. You know, touring, dancing, and singing every day was exhausting, but thrilling. They also had a great time, but it gets very, very draining. And Rosie says when she's on stage is when she feels the most alive, which I feel a lot of musicians can probably agree. Lisa goes back to Thailand. She signs some autographs in the mall, and she feels this pressure of being this role model to everybody here. And she's like, what do I do to not let them down? And I think this is part of the reason why Lisa has such a high drive. Like, she just wants to make everybody in Thailand feel proud. We get a little bit more Chef Jennie, and she cooks, and they're like, not bad. And Jisu's like, not bad, but not good. And Jennie talks about how she's teaching Jisu English, and Jisu's getting better and better, as we can see through the interviews that Jisu is getting better. Next, we get a clip of Rosie, and she talks about how she's intimidated to write, and she's shy about sharing her own stories and opening up. Then she goes on to sing a little bit, something that she wrote herself, and it's actually to Somi's What Are You Waiting For beat. So I'm guessing Rosie didn't go through with this, and Somi ended up getting that beat. And I thought the track was gonna sound great. I would like to see maybe What Are You Waiting For remix with Rosie on it a little bit, or something, I don't know. Jennie talks about how she always feels sick and has a fragile body, and Lisa keeps the positivity and keeps them energized. So next they talk about Coachella, which, guys, will be the next reaction that we do. Super excited. We're gonna react to the entire Coachella concert. I don't know how many of y'all first got introduced to Blackpink at Coachella, but you know, let me know down below if that was you. That'd be an experience to just go to Coachella and see Blackpink and be like, oh my god, I'm a stan. I really hope that they come to Delaware, to Firefly, whenever we can get this vaccination out, because I swear to God, we'll be there front row recording it, and you guys are gonna see our reaction. That'll be probably the littest reaction because it's gonna be in front of our face instead of through a screen. They say Coachella was amazing, but was very intimidating for them. Jennie thought that they would have only like 100 to 200 people most at the concert. And when they seen the amount of people that were outside the stage of their concert, they felt intimidated, but then they huddled and they were all like, we got this. And then they came out and slayed, came out and killed it. Jisu said that she was very sick at the time, the sickest that she's ever been, she said. And that her back was killing her. So we gotta take that into consideration when we do react to Coachella, that Jisu wasn't feeling that well. Jennie said, and I quote, I think Coachella was the moment where I felt like there are people that understand that this isn't just K-pop music. They see us as doing something new, and I really like that. That is something that I have learned personally through K-pop, that K-pop is very experimental, and that's why I love K-pop so much. Lisa said, and I quote, all races and all kinds of people come together there. So it helped emphasize this represents Blackpink. So that just goes to show you where the girls' intentions are. They want to bring people together through music. And then Jennie said, quote, I'm happy to be in an era where people are open to new culture and new music. Who would have thought at Coachella, thousands of people singing in Korean? This is a moment when I felt really satisfied with our work and that all those training years were worth it. And I'm really happy for you, Jennie, that you got to experience that. And I gotta say, I'm happy too that we live in an era where we can accept other cultures. And then near the end, they show us that moment that they had in Thailand, the emotional moment where they're just expressing the love towards each other and how they all appreciate each other and all the hard work that they all went through. And they talk about how their Thai fans show tremendous love to the group. Jennie says, every time we're in Thailand, I get very emotional. So the Blinks are a major out in Thailand. So shout out to all you Thai Blinks out there holding it down. And at the end, Blackpink is dining out yet again. And they end on a discussion about them coming back when they're like 40 and how they're just going to be doing this for a while. But before we get to this point, Jennie says we have more to show you guys. It's just the beginning. So, I don't know if she has anything in mind when she said that. If she's thinking like, yeah, me and Lisa just did this subunit track and it's coming soon. Yeah, we got more to show you guys. It's just the beginning. Or if, she's just saying like in the future, we're going to make some good songs. I'm thinking personally that she's thinking about some songs in particular that she's proud of, that she's ready to show, that aren't on the album. So, I'm telling you guys, this deluxe might be happening. Something came out today that we got to check out. I think it has to do with that. It looked like a world tour or like a virtual concert or something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. That new ad for Blackpink that came out on their channel and on Instagram. Blackpink around the world. I don't know what that's about. They just uploaded a new video though called The Invitation. So we're going to check that out after this. I don't know what that means. We might be getting some more content. We might be getting a concert. I'm thinking if this is a concert, then that would be the time that they would drop the deluxe. I don't know. But that's all my notes for the Blackpink Light Up the Sky documentary. I think we learned quite a bit. I would say my favorite parts were all the trainee videos that we got with them dancing. Those parts were epic. They had some great covers and some great choreos. I'm wondering if they recorded every single time that they had the evaluation. So we got like a solo song, a group song, and a choreo that they did for 5 years. Like, I wonder if they have all that content just sitting. Because you would think YG wouldn't show up in person every single time to evaluate Blackpink. they probably recorded it and sent it to YG, and then he would put in his thoughts and stuff like that, because we even seen that on Big Bang Beginnings. Like, he didn't show up every time that they practiced. They would record it and send it to YG. So I'm sure the same thing happened. So there's probably all of this old recorded content just sitting, and I think they're gonna upload it on YouTube, maybe even slowly, but I think we're gonna get all of that at some point, as long as the girls are cool with it, because obviously they're still training then.
I agree too. I think my favorite part would probably be the training videos too, because it's like content that we haven't seen, and it's them when they're trying their hardest. They're like learning and taking it all in.
It's like college ball.
So it's interesting, yeah, to see them in a different way. Like, to see them when they're just starting and they're trying to fight it out and, you know, become the person they are today, the performer they are today.
It's like they really got something to prove then. Not that they don't still have something to prove and they don't show that now, but like back then they had even more pressure because they didn't debut as the star yet, as this idol. So like I said in the beginning, if you guys do want to see our reaction to Blackpink's Light Up the Sky, I have a link in the description for you guys to check out. We also have Blackpink on Knowing Bros, Blackpink on Running Man, Blackpink's Summer Diaries. This is all stuff that gets blocked on YouTube. And also the performance of Pretty Savage on Music Core, Blackpink's Pretty Savage and Lovesick Girls an encore performance on SBS, Blackpink's Jimmy Kimmel interview, their Charm battle, and their Beyonce Partition dance cover. All of those things were blocked and are put on Patreon. So if you guys want to check it out, it's down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching and critiquing with us. If you like this video, we really appreciate if you give this video a like. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the Coachella concert. Make sure you click subscribe to become part of the clique. Love every single one of y'all. Hope you guys have a great day and month and holiday season. If you don't watch any more of me, just hope you have a great life. Stay classy. CriTiC out.
Shy out.